Hello friends, I am CA Parag Sodhani from Jaipur, and this is the chapter of consignment which is part of paper 1, Principles and Practice of Accounting. In this part, we'll continue the chapter. In this part, we'll mainly cover the topics related to commission. As we already know that commission is the amount which is paid by consignor to the consignee for the services of agency that the consignee renders, right? And this commission is an expense for the consignor. Commissions that consignor can pay can be of three types mainly. First is the ordinary commission. The ordinary commission means the normal commission that a consignor must pay to the consignee in any case. This is the minimum amount of commission that he will have to pay. And obviously it is dependent on the agreement. It completely depends upon the agreement. What is written is that commission paid to the consignee as reward for his work done. This is called ordinary commission. Now, if only the ordinary commission is given by the consignor, in that case, the risk of bad debts, the loss of bad debts has to be borne by the consignee or consignor. This is the question. Can you tell me? The risk of the bad debts will have to be borne by the consignor himself, because normally, as I had already told you many times, that normally the goods are considered as belonging to the consignor. Who is the owner of the goods? Consignor is the owner of goods. So obviously, who will face the risk of its sale? Obviously, the consignor has to bear the risk of its sale. If the goods are sold by the consignee and some amount becomes irrecoverable, then the bad debts will be the responsibility of consignor, not of consignee, right? The third point says that ordinary commission is generally paid as a fixed percentage of gross sales. So if suppose consignor makes a gross sales of rupees 10 lakh, then if the commission percentage is suppose 20%, or it might be 10%, then that 20% or 10% will be calculated as a percentage of rupees 10 lakh. That is the gross sales. So this is a very simple case. The second type of commission, as we can see here, is called the Dahl-Creder commission. The Dahl-Creder commission, as you can read from here, it is the additional commission which is paid to encourage consignee to make credit sales. Because see friends, generally consignee will not like to make any credit sales, because in case of credit sales, there is always the risk of bad debts. Although we will say that consignee need not bother about bad debts, because bad debts will be borne by the consignor. But still, consignee has to make many explanations to the consignor why those bad debts have happened. And that is why he never likes to make credit sales. He would always prefer to make cash sales so that there are no risk of bad debts. But this time what is happening is that consignor is giving some additional commission to him other than the ordinary commission. That other than ordinary commission, some extra commission is paid, and the consignor says to consignee that now you can easily make credit sales, but remember, the risk of bad debts will be borne this time by you, not by me, because to bear that risk of bad debts, I am paying you additional commission that is named Dahl-Creder commission, right? So if Dahl-Creder commission is paid, the bad debts will be borne by consignee, right? And the last point says that generally Dahl-Creder commission is also paid on total sales. By common sense, we can say that it must have been paid on credit sales only, but no. Generally, it is also paid as a percentage of total sales. But yes, it is once again dependent on the agreement. If in the agreement they decide that it will be paid only on credit sales, then only on credit sales. Next, the third type of commission in front of us is, overriding commission. So what is the meaning of overriding commission? This is again the additional commission which is paid besides the ordinary commission. So what is it all about? It is written that this is an additional commission, again paid to consignee. Why? to promote the sales at higher price than specified. Now suppose that X consigns the goods to Y at rupees 200, right? This 200 may be the cost price or it may be the invoice price, whatever be the case. And X wants to encourage Y to sell these goods at more than rupees 200, because it might be possible that Y doesn't sell the goods at higher price. He sells the goods only at cost or only at the invoice price, because he will get the fixed commission as a percentage of gross sales, right? So to encourage Y to make sales at higher price, higher than the cost or invoice price, he is offered some additional commission, which is called the overriding commission, right? Secondly, second thing that is given here is to encourage consignee to put hard work in introducing a new product. So sometimes overriding commission can also be given in addition to the ordinary commission, so as to encourage consignee to put his hard work so that he can make more and more sales. For that, he has been given a temptation of an additional commission, which is called overriding commission, right? So overriding commission is actually a temptation given to the consignee so that he can be encouraged to sell either at higher price or to sell more quantity, right? Now, how is it calculated? What is written about it? Let's see. As per the agreement. Now again, it will be ultimately dependent on the agreement, but generally it is paid on total sales, or if they have decided under agreement, then it may be paid on the difference. So there can be two possibilities. One, that it is paid on the total sales. Second, that it is paid on the difference between actual sale value and the specified value. Say, as per my example, the specified value is rupees 200 and he sells the goods at rupees 230. Then the difference rupees 30. The overriding commission will be given only on that difference, right? This can be also possible, right? So these are the various types of commission. Now, having understanding about all these things, now let us look at certain practical cases. Let us do some practical questions. In this situation, let us read this case. In this situation, X consigns Y 500 units, whose cost is rupees 200 per unit, and the consignment is made at the cost price, not at the invoice price. What consignee does is, he sells 4/5 of the units consigned, goods consigned, and he gets rupees 95,000 for that. We have to calculate the commission. So let us calculate the commission. Case number 1 is where commission is equal to 2% of sales. 2% of sales. Commission is 2% of sales plus something, plus 20% of gross sales less all commission exceeding cost price. So what is the meaning of this long line? Let us understand. Let me write this commission in the form of an equation. Commission is equal to, as have been written here, 2% of sales plus 20% of what? Gross sales less all commission. All commission means total commission. Total commission exceeds cost price. That means consignor is saying to consignee that I'll give you 2% of sales. This is the ordinary commission. And other than that, if you make sale excluding your commission, that means excluding the commission that I pay to you, other than that commission, excluding that commission, if you make sales over the cost price. That means you make collection more than the cost price. That means you sell the goods at more than the cost price. Then on that difference, I will pay you an overriding commission. On that difference, I will pay you overriding commission. We had understood just before what is the meaning of overriding commission. It is paid as a temptation so that the consignee is encouraged to sell at more than the cost price or invoice price. So the same is happening here. And the consignor says that I will pay you the overriding commission on this difference at the rate of 20%. 20% of this difference. Okay, is it clear? Now, how to calculate this amount? How to calculate the commission? Now, the problem here is that if I begin to calculate commission, then yes, this first part can be calculated in a very normal way because it is very simple. But as far as the second part is concerned, for calculating the second part, we will require all commissions. And as we can see, all commissions cannot be calculated until this whole thing is calculated. So until this whole thing is calculated, commission can't be calculated. And for calculating commission, we require all commission. So this is a very complex situation. This is a complicated situation. One thing can be calculated only with the help of another thing. And another thing can also be calculated with the help of first thing. So this is a very complex situation. How to solve it? To solve such a situation, we have to make an assumption just as we made assumptions in mathematics. We have to assume that let this commission be X. And now it will be very simple to calculate this commission X. Let us form an equation. Now see, I will write commission as X. Now X is equal to 2% of sales. Sales is how much? So let me write 2% of sales. Sales is of rupees 95,000. 2% of sales plus 20% of what? Gross sales, that means 95,000 less all commissions. Now all commission means the whole of this value. Now, I don't know what is the whole value. That is what I want to calculate. So I have already assumed that this whole value be X, right? We have assumed this, that the whole value be X. So the all commissions will be written as X minus, what is the cost price? Cost price is 500 units multiplied by rupees 200 per unit, right? Now this equation has to be solved. Let's solve it further. X is equal to 2% of 95,000. So 95,000 multiplied by 2% gives us 1900 rupees plus 20% off 95,000 minus X minus 500 into 200. What is it? 500 multiplied by 200. What is it? It is 1 lakh, right? I'm sorry, this is not 1 lakh actually. Let me tell you that the way we calculate cost will be quite different. How will it be different? We have actually not sold 500 units. 500 units are the total units. The cost which is written here, the cost price which is written here is only the cost of goods that have been sold. So how many units have been sold? We know that 4/5 of the total units have been sold. That means 4/5 of 500 units. That means only 400 units have been sold. So the cost of only 400 units will be taken here. So if we take cost of only 400 units, what will we get? We'll get 95,000 minus 80,000. I'm directly writing it as 15,000 minus X, right? Now if we further solve it, we'll get x is equal to 1900 plus 20% of 15,000. So 20% of 15,000 is what? It is 3,000 minus 20% of x is 0.20x. Now if we solve this equation completely, I am not solving it step by step now, then we'll get final amount of 1900 plus 3000 divided by 1.2. That means x will be rupees 4083.33. Okay, so this is the final amount of commission. This is the total commission that is payable to consignee, right? Next, we'll see the second situation. In the second situation, the question is almost similar, but the only change is how the commission is to be calculated. This time, commission is 4% of sales at the rate rupees 225 per unit. Now see friends, the goods have been consigned at the cost of rupees 200 per unit, as we can see in the question. But what the consignor says to consignee is that if you sell the goods at rupees 225 per unit, then I'll give you a commission of 4% on total sales. And if you sell the goods over and above this specified price, now this is what? This is the specified price. And if you sell the goods over and above this specified price of rupees 225, then on that surplus that you realize, the excess portion, on that excess portion, I'll give you 20% more commission, right? Now I have to calculate commission. How to calculate commission? Very simple. So let's make the calculation. As given, commission will be equal to 4% of sales at the rate 225 per unit, right? So friends, let me first of all check what is the total value if we sell the goods at 225 per unit. How many units have been sold? So the units sold are 4/5 of the total consigned goods. So total consigned units are 500 units. Therefore, the units sold must be 400 units. Now tell me friends, if these 400 units are sold at the rate rupees 225 per unit, what will be the total amount that we get? Should we calculate? Yes. 225 multiplied by 400, we get rupees 90,000, right? 90,000. Now have we sold above 90,000 rupees? Check in the question. Yes, as we can clearly see, we have sold above rupees 90,000. That is more than 90,000 by 5,000 rupees, right? This is what we have sold for. So let us calculate. How will be the calculation made? 4% of sales at the rate rupees 225 per unit, which we have calculated is rupees 90,000, plus 20% of any surplus. Now what is the surplus? Surplus is 95,000 minus 90,000. Is it okay? So this is the simple calculation now. 90,000 multiplied by 4%, what we get is 3,600 rupees, plus 20% of 5,000, which is 1,000 rupees. In all, we get 4,600 rupees as the final amount of commission. Okay. Now this is case number 3. In this case, again the situation is same, but the calculation of commission will be different. In this case, commission is equal to 4% of sales plus 2% what? 2% Dell Crader commission, right? And in bracket it is written, if out of total sales, credit sales is rupees 50,000. That means we are given that out of total sales of rupees 95,000, credit sales are of rupees 50,000. And the remaining is cash sale 45,000. Now friends, first of all, tell me, what is the meaning of del creditor commission? Why is it given? It is given, as we know, to encourage the consignee to make credit sales, right? And being encouraged, he has actually made a credit sales of rupees 50,000, as we can see. So now what amount will be given to him as commission? Let's check. Commission is equal to 4% of sales. What is the total value of sales? Sales is of 95,000 rupees plus 2% of del creditor commission. Now tell me, 2% of which amount? 2% of total sales should be given, or 2% of credit sales should be given? What I told you earlier, just remember, I told you that generally if the agreement is silent, then the 2% is calculated out of total sales, not just of credit sales. Therefore, we can say that 2% will also be calculated out of total sales. So 4% of 95,000 plus 2% again of 95,000. 4% of 95,000 is rupees 3,800 plus 2% is 1,900, right? And when we add both, we get rupees 5,700 is the total commission, right? This is the total value of commission. So this is how to make a calculation of commission in different situations, right? So friends, this is a very important topic, as you have already noticed, and this will be the end of this part, and the remaining topics will be continued in the next part. Let's pass on, let's get on to the last part. Thank you very much.